Right, well, an update. Not done a lot. I've been doing a bit of painting. I'll come around to that in a minute and talk to you about that. Um, I have mostly been trying to get the track running again relatively well. What I've noticed is that my my very first ever train set train doesn't run very well at all on my layout. It's 040. It wobbles all over the place, so I think it really struggles to get a good connection. So the track's as clean as I can probably make it, and yeah, fussy locos just aren't running at all very well. So not the end of the world. I'll probably look to eBay those at some point, or at least I'll do a video and show which ones don't, and then somebody can offer me some cash for them. That'd be great. But yeah, what have I been up to? Been trying to fix this City of Lichfield, which I think is working. I'm just waiting on. Oh no, the City of Lichfield is working. That's over here somewhere. This is for the 9F, so I'm just waiting on traction tyres. But of course, Hornby being Hornby, no longer actually bother with traction tyres, so therefore it's completely. Even though I wrote to them asking for a supplier for where I can get them from, they don't even divulge that. So really helpful. That's was it 2010, I think, that model. I can't remember, which is not that old. I mean, it's old, but not that old. So disappointing. But I've got some alternatives on the way from a guy on eBay who was very helpful, and I'll let you know how that goes on when I come around to doing that. Yes, I've had a bit of a clean out in the cabin. It's a little bit tidier. I say a little bit tidier. It's not actually that tidy, but it is a little bit tidier. I've got. I've started taking apart the very first tester roundy that I did for my son. So yeah, a bit sad to take that apart, but it needs to go. It's taking up too much space. And then I had to go at having a look at what was in my storage. So as you can see, this tower that's building up here is all of that stuff, and I still had some locos in these drawers here as well. Loads of scenic stuff and piles of bits and bobs everywhere, so just need to sort that out. Sprays are now on a nice shelf by themselves, and all of the other bits and bobs are up there as well. The tree that was here has been taken down. I wasn't very keen on it. It was starting to get to me. I think I quite like having a little bit of a view down the line like this. So I need more of a, I think, low tree so it doesn't really take up too much room, or at least so you can kind of see through it. And yes, if I jump up here, yeah, I've done as much as I can to clean the track, but I just get really, it's just finicky. I think it's because of this whole back to front piece. I've tried as much as I can to level it when I reset it, but it's just kind of the way it's going to be. I think I'm way too deep in it to do anything about it. I think so. Is what it is. The only other option I've got is to somehow solder onto every single track, so every track's got this like a decent connection, rather than relying on the fish plates. But I don't even know if that's the problem. I don't know how to test for that. Well, I guess I could do a voltage test on each part of the track, so I could get there, but I wanted to continue and do the rest of the scenery, because the scenics is actually kind of why I'm doing it. Once I've got it up, I'll probably do a couple of videos and stuff, but I won't be out here that much playing trains, as it were. Not really why I'm doing it. So yeah, what else has happened? I think I've done an update over here. I've decided this here is going to be a sheep pen, or a livestock pen, in the corner, and I've just been putting together the Provinder store thing from Ratio, which is this one, the goods yard store, and I've been watching, well, I've actually read through and tried to adapt or try a new painting technique that Chris Nevard talks about. So it's like, you know, you kind of spray everything on first and then you dry brush your colours on to make it look a little bit more worn down. I think it looks all right. This bit's in progress. So that's basically what have I done there? So that's a Naples yellow acrylic dry brushed on, which then looks like that. And then over the top of that, once that's dry, I use buff titanium, which then fills in all the bits. And I imagine I'll probably use a I don't know, like a wash or something, just to pick things out and dull it down a bit more. But you can see the difference in the effect that gives. So this is just painted on and then weathered down, whereas this one is made to look a little bit older and distressed. So Tony, I think, was asking about what I do with the lighting. So these are basically LED lamps that I got on eBay, and in most of the buildings, signal box, everything, what I've been doing is where I can, I kind of put a brace across the top, or use a bit of foam board and sort of stick this in with a hot glue at the top, and just run it down. And yeah, it doesn't give off much light, but it kind of gives the effect of you know, a nighttime scene. These are them, basically, the little LEDs, and that's going to go in the engine shed as well, to give a bit of light. But trying to decide where to put the store. I think the store is going to go over on this line, on this station over here. What did I call this one? I need to get signs so I can remember. This was Cabinford over here, the Cabinford station. So I think this would be based. I'm going to base this one loosely on which I can't remember the station name. The one that's on the Watercress line that sits in the middle. Crikey, completely forgotten. Anyway, I'll come back to that another time. So yeah, this is the technique I'm using here. It's going quite well. It's a bit time consuming. Yeah, it is time consuming. I've had to spray it, then you have to sort of build up the layers, and dry brushing isn't a quick thing, so you have to take your time with it and little bits here and there. Another little side project, I'm growing my own sea foam. As we've got here, we've got some seeds that have just come up, and we've got some more over on the windowsill. Yeah, that's probably about it for now. As I say, the track's been cleaned, everything's ready, everything's running, it's okay, apart from where they're a bit finicky locos. So yeah, nothing else really to report. Don't know if it's easy to see the difference there, but just to show what I've been doing here, and it is working really well. So that's the corner that I just showed on the video, and you can see that the buff titanium really kind of makes it all sit together quite nicely. I've just done the top here, look. I think where the green, I've kind of gone over the green a little bit. That also gives a good effect, but I'll probably dry brush on the green again on top of that in places to make that pop. Yeah, and all I'm doing, it's going to be difficult for me to actually record this, but yeah, getting a tiny bit on the end and kind of rubbing it in, like really smudging it in. Being careful not to do it too much, because then it will take away the paint from the edges of the boards, which is kind of not what you want at this point. So yeah, it looks okay coming on. I might use this technique again. It seems to work quite well, especially where you've got a older building. That's the lesson there, just a different technique applied for a sort of older building that's in need of a bit of love in TLC. And I suddenly remembered that the station I was trying to suggest on the Watercress line was the Medstead station. So something a little bit similar to that will be the Cabinford station. It'll be a bit like that, I think. That's what I'm going for. So it'll have a good shed and then a kind of long station building over here. Alright, anyway, I'm going to crack on and finish this off. Cheers! See you later. So, I'm really happy with how that's come out. It's a really good technique. I will definitely be using that again. The other thing was, like, could I use a wash to tone it down? So I've done, because it's basically not going to be shown, I've done this side actually in a brown kind of watered down wash. And then what I've done is waited for that wash to dry off, and then again went over it with the buff titanium. Yeah, I guess I'll watch this back on the video and see the difference, but in reality I think that side's better than that side. It's just a bit too dirty, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably make my mind up at another time, but for now I think I'll be going with this side, where it just looks, you know, if it gets a couple of posters on it and stuff, I think it'll really look the part. I just need to do the roof, and I'd like to get some bits kind of sacks and stuff in here or barrels, just to kind of mimic, so as you can see through, it's not just an empty building. So I'll have a look at what I've got in my box to see if I can put anything in. But nearly there, and it looks good. Let me know your thoughts, or if you've got any different techniques to share. Always interesting. Alright, all the best. See ya.